Hey guys, Dwayne here. I want to talk a little bit today about people thinking too much about their ex and what they're doing. I've noticed this in a lot, and some of the comments, and primarily I've seen this in other forums and stuff where people get really focused on the ex, what they're doing, looking for information. Well, they don't really realize that they're looking for information, but they are, right? You'll see people comment about, I saw my ex do this on Facebook, or they're saying this and they're saying that. And basically they allow their ex to occupy a significant portion of their mind. Now, I get it, right? I mean, I did the exact same thing. I mean, when this whole thing first started for me, I spent a significant amount of time trying to find out what was going on, trying to figure out why things were happening, just to try to get some information and some closure on what was going on. And I mean, and that's normal, but it doesn't serve any positive purpose, right? You spend that time basically focusing on the other person, and it doesn't allow you to move on. It doesn't allow you to put that behind you and go forward. Now, like I said, I know it's not easy. I mean, I went through my own issues with this. And one of the things I'll tell you, especially in the beginning stages of this, whenever you're going through the smear campaigns and the triangulation and, all the wonderful little aspects of this process, you're completely confused, you're completely emotional, you're trying to figure out what's going on and why it's happening. So you're looking for information. I mean, you're not going to get it from the ex. You're not going to be able to call them up or have a meeting with them and have them tell you exactly what's going on. It isn't going to happen. It'll never happen. You're not going to get closure from them. So one of the things that I did, or the way that I started to make some progress on this, was I looked at it like an addiction. Like I was addicted to information about the ex. I know it sounds a little weird, but that's kind of the way I did it. So that way, whenever I would want to look up information, then I could make a decision, do I really want to? It's like I haven't done it for 2 days, so do I really want to start over? Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. And bottom line is as you progress on and as you learn more, it gets easier. Now, one thing I will say is that when I went through that was before I knew about personality disorders. So I wasn't really approaching this whole situation from the context of that. So I was dealing with that and coming up with that realization whenever I was still trying to wrap my head around what happened and why it happened and why she was doing the things she was doing and how this stuff even happened. But I've noticed that people who are even already involved in this still have a difficult time with this. And if I, and I guess to be perfectly honest, if I roll the clock back to the day that I found what I was looking for, when I found out about this, I think there was still a transition period where you're still, you have those answers, you have a little bit of closure because now you understand the basic concepts of personality disorders, but you're still in that limbo state where you're still connected to the past and you're still trying to move forward to the future. Now, unfortunately, back then when I was looking at information, nobody really stopped to say, hey, for your own good, you need to stop looking for that information. You need to take a step back. You got to focus on yourself and you got to focus on your kids. That's what I wish the message would have been when I was looking back then. So one of the things I would say is when you're going through this and you're looking at it, try to take a step back and think about what's going on when you are looking for information, whenever they're occupying your mind, to try to find a way to push that out, to stop doing that. And I think a lot of times we don't even realize we're doing it. We think that we're making some progress when in fact we're holding ourselves back by continuing to think about the ex, to look for information about the ex, to have people, to want to have people tell you what's going on. I get it. I mean, I've gone through the same thing. And there was a period of time and there's a transition time, right? So there was a period of time where I wanted to know everything I could find out. Anybody who was mutual friends, I wanted to know whatever they knew, I wanted to know. I wanted to know the perspective, what was sinking, what they were doing, what they were planning, the whole 9 yards. Then you graduate, I guess, to the phase to where you don't want to know and you know that it's not good for you, but you still want to know. So you still you're kind of fishing for information. Then you get to the point where you know you don't need to know, right? And you're not going to ask questions, but you're hoping someone will tell you, which is just crazy. And then ultimately, I think you get to the point where you just don't care, right? And if someone does bring something up, or like, oh, hey, I ran into the X, or hey, this is going on, or whatever, you're kind of like, I don't really want to know. I mean, I had that a few months ago where a person was made a comment about something. It's irrelevant, and it's like, oh, do you want to see pictures? And I'm like, nope, no, thank you. You told me, that's fine. And it's just, so it's a transition. Now, probably at some point I'll get to the point where I won't even want to hear about it at all. In that particular conversation, the person was kind of frustrated, so they were actually venting. So I was just, in some ways it was kind of validating, because you hear, it's hearing stuff I already know. But ultimately, I guess the final stage of that is you don't even need to know that. You don't even want to know. And if somebody starts going down that road, you'll just be like, you know what, never mind, that's okay. Let's talk about something else. Don't even need to go there. So I just wanted to mention that. I wanted you guys to think about that for a little bit, because I know for me, when I was going through this, that it was really hard to realize that. And I can see it in some of the comments and some of the interactions where people kind of get stuck in that mode. And I think when you get in that mode, even if you think that you're making progress, you're letting them occupy so much space in your mind that it really slows you down. Now, I've said this before. I mean, you still have to get to the point that you're ready for that. And I get it, right? I mean, it isn't something, none of this is stuff that happens overnight. You have to get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm ready. I don't want to deal with this anymore. But that takes time. So just think about that as you're going through it, and maybe that'll help you get to that point just a little bit quicker. So on that, I'm going to wrap this video up. If you have some comments on how you've been able to do this, put them in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, please subscribe, and I will talk to you guys on the next video. Technically, I think later today. This will drop on Tuesday. I'll have a live stream at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so hopefully you guys can join in on that. I do have jury duty, may have jury duty, so might be a little rushed, but I think there should be no reason why I shouldn't be able to be set up and ready to go at that time. So hopefully see you guys there tomorrow. So take care. Talk to you later. Bye.